Hey guys, Marsing here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so today, for the 200% leader skill showcases, we are going to be taking a look at the INT future Gohan. So, funnily enough, I've seen some people talking about him on the timeline recently. So I wanted to show him off on this 200% team. He is actually still pretty decent. I don't know about necessarily in the most difficult content in the game. I mean, once he's transformed, he's definitely looking good. In terms of stuff like ESBR or the God event, where things are at their peak difficulty, like on turn 1, then I could see him being a little bit aged out. But we'll go through why here. Obviously, he's full level 10 links. I haven't given him any equips because I don't really use them all that much. But he greatly raises defense on super and does immense damage. So obviously, better after supering defensively. He gets attack and defense 100%. He reduces damage received by 58%, but only when your HP is 58% or less. And then he gives Bond of Master and Disciple allies 1 key and 30% attack and defense. He transforms when conditions are met, which is just to have a Trunks on the team, and turn 4. So you can see turn 1 here, we've got 40% support from the STR Trunks. He is at 192k defense, but he doesn't have his damage reduction. So this is what I'm saying about why he potentially is not going to still be super great in the newer, like, you know, things like ESBR, where everything is as hard as it is on turn 1, because, you know, 190k defense with no damage reduction, he's not going to be like tanking supers in slot 1 or anything like that. But that does mean that we are like well over 250k, close to 300k defense when he super attacks here, which is pretty good. He was on turn 2. See, here we go. We're getting... Is this self-physical? Yeah, type disadvantage super. 150k post-super attack. So, obviously, the damage reduction does play a big part in him being as good as he is defensively. Because he was on turn 2, the next turn that he comes back is going to be turn 4. So, I'm assuming he is just going to transform straight away. The problem with the unit has always been, when he came out, obviously Bond of Master and Disciple category leader, it's very difficult to make a really good Bond of Master and Disciple team without bringing a Trunks, which means that this guy is going to transform, or at least it was back then, right? The team has gotten a lot of buffs. Like, I mean, the new Goku and Gohan units are on Bond of Master and Disciple, so technically you could build a very good Bond of Master and Disciple team now without bringing a Trunks, which then means you could just run this INT Gohan as a floating third spot support unit. Because once he transforms, he no longer supports the team. So it's kind of like the Android 13 situation, where you could run him as the leader for the team. You might want to run him as like an off-rotation support unit, but you're just not going to get the opportunity to not transform him because you have no control over it. So once he transforms into a Super Saiyan, he now infinitely stacks his attack and does immense damage. And then his passive is attack 100%, reduces damage received by 58%. So notice he doesn't get any defense anymore in his passive, but he gets the guaranteed 58% damage reduction. Then he gets key +1 and attack 30% per Bond of Master and Disciple ally attacking in the same turn. And he launches an additional super when there is an android enemy. So on this rotation, the STR Trunks and the physical future Gohan are both Bond of Master and Disciple characters. So he is getting those buffs. And he's getting the 40% support. He's at 163k defense, and that's with all his links active as well on this setup. So, not the best. Units like AGL Zamasu aged very, very quickly, because as we came to see, like when you read his kit when he first came out, it's like, oh, this seems pretty good. He's got, is it 40% damage reduction in at least one of his forms? But he has no base defense. So as these events get harder and harder and harder, like the red zone, in order to tank normal attacks against the hardest bosses, you need like 300-400k defense. So having 150k, for example, but with damage reduction is just not good enough, especially if you happen to be the unit that eats a super attack for that turn. So I do think this Gohan is still going to be very usable in content, but again, like the hardest red zone stages, he's definitely not the unit that you want to be like getting hit with a super attack. And obviously this rotation we had double Bond of Master and Disciple allies, so he had his full passive active, and his defense was still way below like 200k, which is unfortunate. 58% damage reduction is a lot though. That is obviously still very good. What are the chances he's going to super me in slot 1 here? Let's just go for it. I want to get an extra super with this Goku and Gohan, so let's just risk it for the biscuit here. We should finish off this Goku this turn regardless. Okay, didn't super in slot 1. Perfect. So only take double-digit damage. 6.7. My Goku and Gohan has 2 dupes. So once they get that first super off and then potentially get a dodge or 2 in the first turn, they are way better than I think a lot of people give them credit for in the early turns. I see so many people saying, like, oh, they're only good on turn, like, 7 when you exchange into Gohan, but that's just not accurate. So, you see on this turn, we only have 1 Bond of Master and Disciple ally. We still have 40% support with the Xeno Goku, but now we're only at 117k defense. So that is very, very bad. Like, the 58% damage reduction is obviously a nice little addition, but that defense is so low. So, if we took a super from, like for example, if we took the Final Flash from Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta with 119k defense, I think almost any unit would just be dead at that point. But when you factor in, like, 58% damage reduction, it seems like a lot, but if that super from Blue Evolution Vegeta is doing, like, 700k to him, then 58% damage reduction is only going to make that like 300k, which is still a lot of damage for a unit who is supposed to be good defensively. Like when he first came out in the actual meta that he was released in, then obviously that level of defense that he was putting up and then 58% damage reduction wasn't really that bad. But you've also got to remember, this is the 200% team showcase. So these defense numbers that we're seeing from him, this is with him having like 60% more defense than he would have on a double 170 team, and he's still only hitting like less than 150k, which is very unfortunate. In terms of attack stats, obviously because he's an infinite stacker, I've mentioned this a lot recently in videos where we've looked at units that infinitely stack. I don't necessarily expect him to be doing like 6, 7, 8 million attack stats on turn 1 because he's an infinite stacker. But obviously that was supposed to have been off-balanced by the fact that he was very, very good defensively, which of course in the current meta, like, not so much anymore. Now here we are going to see a good turn because we have the Cell Juniors here. So we have to click the screen like 15 times to get rid of all of their passive information. But because we are fighting an Android enemy, we are going to get a guaranteed additional super. They don't have Cold Judgment, do they? No. So we've still got 6 links. Now we have the double Bond of Master and Disciple rotation, but with no support. So you can see a similar defensive number, because obviously that's making up for the support we had on the previous turn. So let's attack you. We get a guaranteed additional, so maybe we can take out the AGL one as well. And then, if not, let's target the AGL one with you, just to make sure we can take him out. We're going to get the Dokkan attack here. So I guess we aren't going to see the guaranteed additional super, because this should be enough damage to take him out. What's his attack stat here? 3.68. Oof. So again, like, you can tell he is a unit from a bygone age. Like, obviously he's a couple of years old from when he first came out. It's interesting to do these 200% leader skills for, showcases for some of these units, because some of the units that came out even like a year ago get a massive boost by this leader skill to the point where they do actually start to look like quite impressive. But I feel like this Gohan, just with the way he's designed and everything, he's not getting the same kind of benefit that some of those units do. Like, obviously in this showcase he still looks pretty reasonable, but he doesn't look anyway. You think about some of the crazier showcases of these that we've done for some of the really, really strong units, like, you know, the tech androids on the one that I did yesterday on the Cell team, units like Heart Virus Go, even Physical Future Gohan himself, AGL Trunks. Obviously AGL Trunks is a very new unit, and Physical Future Gohan recently got an Easy A, so it is a little bit unfair to compare them. But remember, the big thing for this guy is that his Easy A is still on the horizon at some point. There are a few Dokkan Fest exclusives that are obviously in line to get them before him, but his Easy A could be really, really good. Because obviously he's going to go up to level 140, so he's going to get extra stuff anyway. I think they definitely should give him some base defense in his transformed state. But all they would really need to do, especially with the guaranteed additionals against androids, because remember, he gets a guaranteed additional super attack against an android, and then you have the hidden potential, so he could potentially triple super in that turn. So if we do this, yeah, we get the all 7 links active rotation. We're at 163k defense. Yeah, all they have to do, give him some base defense, and then because he can get those multiple supers, have him infinitely stack attack. They don't need to make him infinitely stack defense as well, although obviously that would be super good. But we've seen units in the past that have this, where they infinitely stack attack and then just raise defense for one turn, like in third form Frieza, for example. He could pick up something like that with his Easy A, because that's what he really needs. Like, the 58% damage reduction is obviously really, really good, but he needs to have a decent, like, base defense to then back that up, so that he's then not taking huge damage from some of the toughest enemies in the game. But, I mean, overall, he's definitely still usable. The biggest problem just comes from, like, in these final stages, if he takes a super attack, he's in serious trouble, which actually could be the same for this Trunks. He's very good defensively, but how much damage do we take from this? 436k. Woo! But we take double digits from normal, so it's fine. But yeah, that was a bit of a close one. So let's go ahead and do this. I don't think, are we going to get another turn here? Probably not. So we'll do this. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below of the INT Future Gohan. Let me know what you would like to see from his Easy A, because I think he's got the very basic pieces there to get a really, really good Easy A. He just needs, like I said, he needs to have solid start of turn defense, and then maybe some sort of defense raise on super. Obviously, the ideal scenario, like I said, is if they just make him infinitely stack both attack and defense, then that would actually be pretty crazy, because transforming on turn 4... like, nice and early, you don't have to wait too long. You can start getting those stacks in there straight away. And then I think he could be looking very, very good. So, if this Goku and Gohan don't crit, we might get another turn here. Because the friend, I think, is 2 dupes as well. Don't crit. Of course they did. Alright, well, let me know what you guys think of INT Future Gohan down below in the comments section. And as always, let me know any other 200% leader skill showcases that you haven't seen yet. Go through the playlist that I made. I am putting a bunch of them out at the moment. But if there's any more you guys want to see, make sure you let me know down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.